Now, moving on, EU lawmakers are gathering in Strasbourg this week with a raft of issues on their agenda. For more, we can cross over now to the European Parliament in Strasbourg and to our correspondent, Vincenzo Genovese, who's there for us. Good morning, Vincenzo. Great to see you. Give us a sense, what can we expect from the Parliament today?
Good morning, Maret. Good morning from Strasbourg. The European Parliament is voting today at noon on a report about rape legislation in the EU. The resolution calls on the European Commission to establish a common definition of rape, which should be valid across all the 27 member states, and essentially says that any form of sex without consent should be considered as rape, which is not the case today all across the EU. So why is this important? I'll put that question to Abir Al-Sahlani, a Swedish MEP who has worked on the file. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
What's the key point of this vote?
Well, it comes as a result of a failure from the previous mandate when we discussed the gender-based violence directive, and where we fail actually in delivering this kind of legislation to women. And it comes at a very important timing, not only because of the backlash on gender equality issues globally, but also specifically in Europe, but also because of all these scandals that have been surrounding this topic, from the case of Madame Pilico in France to the so-called rape academy, where you drug women, where the partners drug women, they rape them and they streamed it online. So the violence has evolved against women. Sexual violence in Europe has evolved.
Because nowadays the definition of rape is, in some member states, is linked to violence.
Exactly, and many of these, let me just focus a little bit on the member states, where they actually were the ones pressuring us, the previous mandate, not to go through with the consent-based legislation. And finally, they are waking up, and now it is actually on them to also push the Commission so we can have this legislative proposal. Because when you do this, when you do not choose the side of women in this, the victims, then you're choosing actually the side of the rapist. You're already chosen a side, you're not neutral.
What about the Parliament? All the political groups agree on this resolution? Because I see that some criticism from the far-right parties.
Well, unfortunately not. Can you imagine in 2026, they are saying, these far-right parties, the Patriots and the ESN, they are still saying that are women properly dressed? Was she too drunk? What did she do to provoke a rape? Still, they are blaming the woman, the victim, for the rape. And I think that they should be utterly ashamed when they cannot, even in this very volatile situation, they cannot choose the side of the victim.
Let's turn to another topic, because tomorrow there is a key debate on the Middle East crisis. What should be done on this crisis?
Well, it's not a crisis, it's a war ongoing where actual people, real people, humans like you and me are dying. And they are paying a price for us watching the global order being renegotiated in real time. And what we should have done is we should have been much more clear, much more early in our reactions. We should have brought the Iranian opposition to facilitate their democratic shift, but killing people and calling it a war for democracy, that is just ugly.
But are you in favor of a direct involvement of the European countries as suggested by President Trump?
Never, never in a war that is a crime against international law. We are better than that. Europeans, EU, we are better than this. If we don't protect the international law, then nobody will.
Okay. Thank you very much, and we will follow, of course, this debate and all the votes here in the European Parliament in Strasbourg on Euronews and Euronews.com. Maren.
Okay, Vincenzo, thank you so much, and thank you to your guest there, MEP Abir Al-Sahlani.